It's been a big 3 days, folks, with the whole Middle East conflicts breaking out. We've seen day one, Ali Khamenei assassinated. We've seen the Houthis threaten to get involved. We've seen Iraqi militants and militias aligned with Iran get involved. Excuse me, sorry. And we've seen Hezbollah resume attacks on Israel, all in a span of 3 days. And also, it's key to note that the Strait of Hormuz, the massive global economic artery, waterway between Iran and Oman, has been declared closed by Iran and the IRGC or whatever. And so we should be expecting gas and oil prices to skyrocket. That's what I mean. We've seen attacks from Iran on military bases, for American military bases all over the Middle East, from Saudi Arabia to the United Arab Emirates, Iraq. We've seen it in Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, which honestly, I don't understand why the extras that Iran is doing, where they're launching like extra missiles, rockets, and drones against non-American infrastructure in these countries, seems like a waste of time. And it's just making them focus more on seeing Iran as a bigger threat than Israel, which is not how they were starting to lean towards Iran being a lesser threat than Israel. But by launching these attacks on these countries, it's not helping that case. 6 American servicemen have also been confirmed killed now. Well, service members have been confirmed killed. The U.S. and Israel are going through a lot of interceptors from how much the Iranians are firing, which is making me wonder, is Iran firing low amounts of missiles right now to exhaust Israel and the United States' stockpile of interceptors? Because as you remember, if you remember, back in the June 12th Day War in 2025, Israel was on the edge of being completely exhausted for interceptors before the ceasefire. While they have stocked some back up, yes, the cost and the time it requires to resupply and restock and reproduce interceptor missiles is not cheap. It's not quick. So the fear that they could be running low on missiles for air defense is a grave concern right now. Now, you got a lot of members of the Trump administration, like Trump, Hegseth, Marco Rubio, and Mike Waltz saying how, and I think the Speaker of the House also made a comment, but Trump was saying how, and most of these guys were saying how the war is legal. It's not. But not according to international law or UN standards, or US law. But Trump has made statements saying how the war could last 4 to 5 weeks, but it could be quicker, easier, and finished sooner. I doubt it. He's also made comments about how he's, interestingly, not afraid to put American boots on the ground in Iran. Interesting. Let me know if you hear a peacemaker. Tell me to stop if you hear peacemaking here. He's also made threats. He's sent massive warships and more fighter planes into the Middle East. He says many things. And apparently the narrative that they're trying to get the Iranian people to overthrow the government is still a big thing, but it's very unlikely to happen right now or at all. But it's just interesting because we saw today that Trump was and some of his officials were struggling to explain to Congress and to the American people why they decided to launch an illegal attack on Iran during negotiations, all to satisfy a foreign government, aka Israel. Trump is always making these claims that Iran was, so is Netanyahu, but he's been making those claims for the last 30 plus years. But now apparently Trump's been just plagiarizing what Netanyahu's been saying about, well, Iran's about to have international continental missiles, ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, that are capable of launching and hitting the U.S., which is a big lie that Netanyahu's been spewing for 30 years as well. They also been claiming that Iran was closer than ever to achieving a nuclear bomb. What's interesting there, Israel and the United States both have nuclear arsenals, whereas Iran does not. Very hypocritical there. What do you say? But it's also funny because 30 years of the same bullcrap from Israel and 30 years have shown that every time Iran has not had a nuclear weapon, and the man who was keeping them from acquiring a nuclear weapon is now dead because of the United States' eagerness to please Israel. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on from here, who the next leader will be. It's only been 3 days of war, and it's just become a mess. 180 school children killed in a girl elementary school. Protesters in Pakistan killed by U.S. Marines. It's not good. But yet Trump seems to think that it's going to be over quick and that it's going to be as successful as Venezuela. It's only just begun. And it's only going to get worse for the Trump administration before it gets better. A reporter asked Trump if he's going to get bored and move on from the Iran conflict. And he's like, he made a statement saying, it's not boring, I'm not bored. I'm not bored with anything we're doing over there, something like that. It's quite fun, actually, or something like that. Yeah, I read that today. I'm like, that's who we have in charge? A guy who claimed and campaigned for peace and endless wars to be over for U.S. troops, yet is bragging about how raging war in Iran with Israel is not boring at all, but is entertaining. Yeah. One might wonder how corrupt the U.S. government is, where they're actually encouraging war instead of trying to end it.